Hey nerds, Liam here. I've been checking out Selaco, a game I've actually been following with great interest. It's an upcoming old school shooter built with the retro GZ Doom game engine. Inspired by the likes of Fear, it has me quite excited. Now, I've actually shown it off a little bit before on Steam Deck in a previous video, but I'm bringing it back with the demo now for a good reason, because the developer just recently put out an update that overhauled the demo. When you go to load the game up, it will give you a choice between Vulkan and OpenGL, but it's Vulkan that had their optimizations, so make sure you choose that. And when you're in the game, you're actually given a choice between special quality and performance mode presets for the Steam Deck as well. You can still tweak the settings, but for this video and for my playthrough checking it out again, I did choose the performance mode. I should note as well, because I had this installed previously from an older demo, sometimes Valve's uninstaller doesn't remove all the files. This caused the game to initially freeze on the menu when installing it again for the new demo, which really confused me. If you find that issue as well, you will just need to wipe the Selaco installed folder in desktop mode and then reinstall it and it'll work fine. This big demo update brought with it significant improvements to the stability of the game engine. They've improved Steam Deck and Linux support specifically. They added in full controller support for their Space Bro minigame. They improved the smoke performance, and they've also added in some tweaks to the pathfinding, but they did say the full game will use a completely different pathfinding system that's more reliable. So, if you've not tried Selaco before, or if you played it last time and you felt it could have been a bit better, you need to go and take another look. To be clear though, this is only a demo, and the developer said that the full game that is still in development is already way ahead of even the newer updated demo in terms of optimizations. So you can expect the full release to be in even better shape. And they said basically that bringing over every improvement to the demo would have just been too much work taken away from developing the full game. Which is fair enough, but even with what they've done, you really get a good feel for Selaco now. This could easily end up being one of the best retro-inspired first-person shooters eventually when it releases in full. To be clear, there are still some problematic performance areas in the demo of Selaco, most notably bigger areas when you're using the flashlight. That can bring down the frames quite a bit, and when there's really some explosive action, it can drop a good few frames, but for the most part, it does remain really quite smooth overall. And again, they do have even better performance already in the full game. They've just put some added extras into the demo for you to get another look at it. Now, as I mentioned, it is a bit inspired by the classic Fear when it comes to sort of the action and the enemy AI, but then it blends in plenty from the likes of Quake and Doom for all the retro elements to it, but there's loads of modern touches that make it a wonderful blend of old and new. The developers are promising that it will give a fully fleshed out world full of character, action and mystery, and it certainly seems like they know what they're doing with it. I'm excited because I grew up with games like this back in the days of Doom, Quake, way too much Duke Nukem, Unreal and all the others. And I do honestly find that a lot of sort of AAA first-person shooters that are chasing ever more realistic visual styles and all the remakes they keep doing just lose so much of the charm that the earlier games had. For Selaco, I just love the pure chaos during the action. The environments that you battle in are great, as is all the dynamic bits that happen with loads of things flying around. And the way that enemies run around as well and try to get to you is really good. It's so much fun to play through, although, as always, I really need to work on my aim. The thing is, there's quite a lot of these retro throwback first-person shooters now. I mean, you've got the likes of Dusk, Bolt Gun, Iron Fury, a Medieval, Proteus, and the list just keeps going on. These shooters have become much more of a crowded market in the last couple of years, but I really honestly think that Selaco will happily just rise up amongst the crowd when it does eventually release, which there's no exact release date yet. The developers are just basically going with it's done when it's done, so it will eventually release, and it's fine by me. It's very ambitious, but going by the demo, they're certainly on the right track. Now, when it comes to the story, it actually takes place during a violent invasion of an underground facility, which is Selaco. You play as the security agent Dawn, who with their high-level security clearance has been digging into Selaco's murky history. But before you can finish your investigation, explosions aplenty and armed invaders come rushing in. The developers say much of it will be a sort of personal story of your character Dawn, who is the centerpiece of the entire game. All of that sounds really cool. I like the sort of personal story angle to the first-person shooters, and at release, not only is it going to have the full story, they're also planning modding support, professional voiceovers, more game modes outside of the story campaign, and a full soundtrack to go with it as well. Really exciting stuff. Go give the demo of Celica a go on Steam right now and let me know what you think of it in the comments. But I'm off to actually go play some more, so I'll see you later.